Despite a huge debt pile on its books and large workforce, there are a lot of things that make Air India very attractive. To begin with, the airport slots is one of the prized possessions of Air India right now. It has got parking and landing slots at some of the key airports across the world, which includes Heathrow Airport and airports in various US destinations. For a new airline to start international operations, the key part is to get these slots. It's easy for you to get these slots as a preferential treatment. This is one of the biggest advantage for the Air India right now when it goes for a sale. The Air India right now connects with around 54 domestic destinations and 43 international destinations, which is one of the highest number for any Indian carrier right now. It has got bilateral agreements with a lot of countries, and the good part is that many of these bilateral agreements have not been fully utilized. So any player who picks up Air India would be able to better utilize these bilateral rights. In fact, one of the biggest script for the government of India right now is that their national carrier has not been able to use its bilateral agreements properly, whereas the international carriers have been using their bilateral rights in a very effective manner. For example, Singapore Airline is using roughly 90% of its bilateral agreements from India side. So, a new player would definitely want to benefit from this underutilization of bilateral rights. The other biggest thing for Air India right now is its ability to generate revenue from its available seat kilometers, which is right now one of the highest in the country. The airline also has one of the highest revenues right now among all the Indian carriers. I mean, its revenues are almost 8% higher than the next competitor in the market. Again, in terms of the market share, Air India has a significant market share in both international and the domestic market share. For example, in the international share, when you compare it with other Indian and foreign carriers, it has roughly 17% market share right now, which is the largest in the Indian market as of now. Air India has been there for a very long time, so it's kind of benefiting from its legacy that it carries. Unlike other carriers, Air India also has a large amount of its fleet which is owned by the airline. Players like Indigo, players like SpiceJet and Jet Airways, they generally follow a model where they own a little bit of their fleet, and largely the fleet includes aircraft which have been taken on either finance lease or other forms of leases. So this is one of the biggest thing for Air India right now, because they own these planes. A new buyer would have a benefit of not going into regular hassle of leasing and bearing a higher cost as compared to the owning these aircraft.